guys, welcome to another episode of Infinite Muses podcast. This is episode 7, where love is infinite and creativity is our muse. And today it is just Karmen and me. Yay! So pretty much once a month, we're gonna just take the time, usually at the beginning of the month, and Karmen and I are gonna talk, and we're gonna talk a different topic. If you guys have questions or anything that you want to hear about, like, please write us, and we'll definitely take everything into consideration. So today we're going to talk about our soul's purpose and our life mission and how those can be two different things. And so Karmen has a few things to say about that.
Yeah, so pretty much in the past few episodes, some things have been naturally brought up with the muses, and I feel that every muse that we have interviewed is in alignment with their soul purpose and their life mission. And this is something I think that attracted us to them in this podcast to interview them. And there was a theme that I felt in every podcast interviewing everyone, and that they were fully embodying their awakening. I feel that, when you talk with Amber and she's been through this amazing mystical journey with the gypsies and then building a temple in Brazil, and now she's in New York, and she just did her 21-day embodiment
Activation is amazing. I did. We're goddess galactivated.
really goddess galactivated
yeah.
sessions. And you could tell that when she teaches, that she's really embodying the teachings, and she's really living her mission and her soul's purpose, because she's really touching so many people. I think there was about 100 people in her embodiment Zoom 21-day activation.
Yeah,
and there was, you could tell that people were really, really moved and feeling the work that she does. So moving on to Jody and with her vision questing, when she talks about it, and I love the way that she put it, how she has this vision questing workshops, and how everybody has their vision, but sometimes they have shared visions and they don't even know it, and
right.
They have shared visions. And so she likes to connect with people together to have these vision questing, so they can maybe support each other through their visions, maybe even and help each other. Hey, I have this tool in my toolbox that can help you with your vision.
So I took actually Jody's, it was the vision map experience. And one of the things that I did notice was a common theme. She uses feng shui as a basis. And so there's like these little squares, and you go through, and it's for relationships and all these different things. And one of the things I found was I was blocked. I was actually really blocked in all areas of, and it was in finances, which is funny because for years I never was. I was very successful in my career, and so the last few years kind of took a turn because I started working for myself, which I made less money, but was more rewarded. But I noticed the blockages, and it was amazing to see. I was like, wow, there it is. And
mm-hmm.
It helps you fix parts of your life that you're not even seeing things that are affecting,
mm-hmm. Right. So this is, her work. You could tell the difference between a soul purpose and a life purpose. So this is what I think I like to focus on for today, because your soul purpose, for example, could be helping others, right? And so your soul purpose, by helping others, is allowing your soul to grow or to learn. And so since the soul is infinite, boundless, there's no beginning, there's no end, there's no birth, there's no death, it's eternal, it's forever.
Yay! Guys, listen, when you actually hear that, I know that you may hear things so much, but it's true. Mm-hmm. It's true. Just like, if you're listening now, you're going to have, you're all going through like a lot of fear-based, mm-hmm. everything.
Yeah, well, because we get so caught in the microcosm of it all, and we forget to look at the big picture,
right.
That we are these souls in these bodies in this life.
Right. And
and we get so stuck with these blinders, like, oh, I have to, do this or whatnot, because it's gonna it's gonna make my life better, instead of thinking what's gonna make my soul better, or what's gonna grow my soul, or what's gonna feed my soul. So finding your soul's purpose could also be, maybe having more compassion, having more experiences that opens your heart, that opens your mind, and so something that Ashani, I really enjoyed about her her podcast is how she spoke on her awakening journey. And she had no idea she was going to be a dancer. She started just meditating. She went away, left her town, left everything she ever knew.
Completely from the West Coast to the East Coast, by the way, which is like from wow,
and started this meditation practice, ascension meditation practice. And so where she had to actually, swipe everything clean and then connect with these teachings. And so the next thing that she knows, she's doing a belly dance class, and she's feeling, embodying these teachings. And she felt that these teachings in her body, which was amazing. And when you see her, you can feel it's a spiritual experience watching her dance.
Yes, absolutely. Her and Amber both are just, they're like walking embodiments of femininity, of poetry, of just being, and I think a lot of times we are hung up on different things in our life that we don't want to be, we're judgmental. Like we hide and we do all these things. I think we all have to go through that in order to understand that to live our soul's purpose is to sing in the car. It's even funny because I think for years I've been told, oh, you have a man voice. Like when you're, when you're a little kid, you're made fun of and all this stuff. So my sister and my mom and I always joke about that, but it's like, no, I actually
let me hear your voice.
I got a sexy
Let's hear you. Let's hear it.
No, not yet. I'm not ready. But that's the cool thing when you are starting to live your soul's purpose and your life mission together. People start coming to you, things start aligning, things start happening. So for me, where I felt like doing this podcast is a big deal for me because I hated my voice for the longest time. Oh, you sound like a man. And it was the worst, but I've grown to really love listening to my own voice, which is funny. So I started singing. So I have Danielle, we'll link her. She's amazing. She's such a warm soul and an amazing voice coach, and I started
so you got a voice
hitting
coach.
Notes. Yeah,
Nice.
so I started hitting notes with her. I've done that the past few weeks. I know we haven't had a chance to talk about it much because we've been so busy, but it's helped with my communication. And so when you're embodying yourself and your confidence, you're sitting up straighter. We talked about this a little bit the last time, but you're, like you said, all of these muses are embodying themselves. Everyone has gone through some kind of trauma or pain, no matter what color or race or background or man or woman. Like we have all been through something, death, many things, and it can cause you to go off and close off, or it can cause you to awaken. Literally awaken, which I think is what is happening right now on Earth. Like everyone is awakening.
We talked about that with Sari Rishi, how there's this collective spiritual awakening happening, how we're shifting into the Aquarian age, which is more of the feminine age from the Piscean age. And Shani kind of talked a little bit about that. The Piscean is patterns, and the feminine divine is more of the right-brained, and so in that right brain, it's more in the flow, right? So we don't really know what's going to happen, and we're stepping into that unknown, and that scares a lot of people. It's scary, And I had my own spiritual awakening early on in my life when I really didn't know what was going to happen, and I literally had to surrender completely. I had to surrender my entire life to God. And I said, hey, God, take my life and lead the way. And that was a scary thing. It was a scary thing, but it was the most magical thing as well, because that's when I really became a spiritualist and learned how to trust my soul and listen to my soul. And and spirit will tell you and it will guide you.
Right.
So that for me was my soul's purpose, right? And then I was led into yoga. I was led into studying Oriental medicine. I was led to my teachers, or my teachers were led to me. I was, everything in my life I felt was a spiritual, mystical path where I literally surrendered and just trusted in a higher power and said, you know, I'm your vessel.
Right.
And that is a scary thing. It is a scary thing. And I know a lot of people, and this is why we decided to do the podcast, is because I know a lot of people right now it's a scary time. You know, I think they said now 50% of America is out of a job.
Right.
And not knowing how you're going to pay the rent or where you're going to live, or, you know, it's a scary thing, and we can't depend on the government. But listen to your soul and your family and your neighbors, and we're going to have to reach out and help each other during this time. And that happened to me. I mean, I came into hard times in my life, and I had to reach out to family or loved ones to help me out. And it's okay. It's okay to say that. It's okay to say,
especially right now.
And that could be your soul's purpose in this moment, is to learn how to just be humble and say, I need help, you know, and that's okay too, because everybody's, you know, in a really hard situation right now with what happened with the coronavirus and the economy.
Yeah. And I think more than ever, you know, I mean, we're all like, we're coming together even more so as a true global community, you know, and also acting local. I mean, we have to act local, you know, I mean, literally right now, it's like Carmen's the only person I've seen in 3 months besides people on Zoom, you know, so it's, just keep going. And you know, I with Fabsi, I mean, she was so great with and I know that she's still doing events with her community. And
so
you know.
Fab brought up a lot of really good points in her Kemetic Yoga experience of, you know, how to be like a pyramid and be, you know, remind people that you're strong, you know, be like a pyramid. And so it's not like just like, okay, go into downward dog. No, it's right now, embody your strength, be like strong like a pyramid. And not only that, but, you know, bring it to the roots community, bringing this yoga that isn't usually in that community for whatever reason. I'm not really sure, but bringing it to that community. And also, she brought up so many points of you know, what's happening right now, and how we need to be educated on these you know, systemic racism and white privilege, police brutality, ancestral trauma.
Yeah. Black lives do matter. Absolutely.
You know, Black Lives Matters. And you know, so this was a very important podcast that we wanted somebody who's in the community working as a spiritual leader and get her feedback. And I think that she's doing an amazing job with connecting the dots as well, like Siri Rishi said, you know, connecting all the dots and bringing that collective awareness to the wounds that are happening in that community.
Yeah.
That we all need to be aware of. So that was an amazing podcast. And I mean, Siri Rishi, you know, I loved connecting with her. She's all the way in her temple in New York. And, you know, in the midst of New York and so many horrible news that we're hearing from New York, she's doing this beautiful thing. You know, her community is growing worldwide. She's offering this this technology. I call it technology because just like anything, it also is a technology that we can use to strengthen the nervous system during these times. And through this practice with Kundalini Yoga, it also awakens the subtle body. And so we are allowing ourselves to merge the physical and the spiritual so we can connect with our soul and our soul's purpose and step into that in our life.
It's really time to be well. You know, I think so much this culture and the world, we're 9 to 5 race, and we're sick, we have diseases, we have cancer, and this is a wake-up call for us all.
And the worst virus is stress.
Right. Right.
I mean, stress will cause, I mean, we don't talk about what stress causes, but that is a pandemic, you know, and it will lead to, you can look it up, hundreds of diseases, you know, and stress is connected to the 3 main killers of Americans, and that's heart disease and diabetes, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cancer. And those are stress-related diseases. It's been proven. So I feel that my life mission has been yoga, massage, the wellness consulting, and having people awaken to, you know, their health and their body and the things that cause them stress. And not only that, but I mean, the food you're eating, the water you're drinking, and it goes, environmental toxins or your environment is such an effect on your health. And there's so many different aspects to that. So, you know, doing the wellness consulting that I've done and awakening people to, you know, these stressors in their lives that are affecting their health. Once they go through that and they're like, wow, I didn't realize I feel so much better right now, that I needed this detox or I needed that massage. And then this is, I feel like my life mission. So I've been very, very luckily successful in that. And I feel definitely that feeds my soul, because I know my soul's purpose is to help others. And I think also to open people's hearts and minds and awaken. So that's what I feel my soul's purpose is.
Absolutely. And that's why she and I have aligned through Nora. We'll say her name a million times because we love her.
Another, women's empowerment is another one of my soul's purpose.
Let's talk to her every day. I can't.
Thank you, Nora. I love you.
I'm your therapist. I'm going to start charging you. Love you. Just kidding. But yeah,
we'll
so yeah, exactly. She's definitely a muse. I mean, I know my soul's purpose is to help people. I've always felt that. I remember being a little kid and like in the 80s and seeing like the hungry kids on the TV, and I would cry. I'm like, Mom, we need to help them, you know. And so there's always been this empathic little being, and that's like comes from my mom. And then my dad was like very tough, but you know, was a cook on Air Force One, flew all around the world, like chain smoking to, you know, every other word is the F word, Italian, like, so I've got a little bit of both. And I really appreciate that, because I think sometimes when we're all one or the other, it's, you know, too much. It's too much to be too empathetic, and you kind of get bowled over by people, or you're too strong and then you're stressed all the time. So I feel like I'm finally finding my balance at like 40, but
nice. So it's very important.
Yeah.
I mean,
oops, I said my age. Oh my God. Now everybody knows. Now everybody knows.
We won't tell anybody.
But yeah, so, you know, and just life purpose is, it's been a great, beautiful journey. I was an artist. I've always been an artist. I went to art school. But again, with the tough dad was like, get a job. So I ended up majoring in graphic design. And that has been a 20-year career that even now, you know, I thought I had lost my job and was looking for unemployment that I know most people in Florida aren't even getting right now. And thankfully I have monthly income from home from my laptop. I set my life up that way, and I'm very grateful. And so now I have the ability to have the time to do these podcasts, which is to get this out to the world, you know, to help inspire and empower all of you, you know, to live a better life and to hear other people's stories, to hear our story, to hear all of these muses that.
And we want to hear your story too. So if you are watching, really want to get your feedback, positive or negative. Send us a message. We are infinitemuses@gmail.com. You can also on the YouTube channel put in your comments. If you have questions, we on IG, you can communicate with us.
We're on Instagram.
We're not here just to, we're also here to connect with you. If you have topics that you want to address or muses that you want to interview, or if you even want to be on yourself, you know, suggest yourself. you know, because we want to have this as an interactive thing. This is also about you as well, and whoever's watching this. This is a community, community, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to end this.
Musity.
This is a music.
I'm always trying, because of being in marketing for 20 years, I'm always like coming up with taglines and stuff like that. But so I do want to say quickly actually about that. You know, I went through business coaching last year, which is amazing. And I love her, Michelle Gomez. We're going to definitely have her on. But something I will say that I just showed Carmen a business card, and I had written this like 2 years ago. And the tagline is "Love is infinite, creativity is our muse." And I remember, I can't remember exactly what she said. She just said something like, "I think it could be better." And so what did I do? I put it away. And I like Carmen, we've been around each other for months now, and she didn't even know that was a tagline, and she heard it today, and she's like, "That's amazing." And I'm like, "I know, it was like the first thing I came up with." And she's like, "We have to use it, you know?" So
we're going to start every episode with that, so we can just ingrain it into our heads, into your head.
But it's also about, you know, not taking criticism to heart. You know, I know she probably didn't even mean to do that, because she's an amazing coach, and I actually can't wait to have her on. But, you know, sometimes people don't know, and you know, but.
Yeah, so I yesterday, somebody said something. They said, Carmen, why are you keep, you know, hiding and you know, putting yourself down? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. She says, there's a great Young Pueblo quote, and I want to share it. And it says, "Do the earth a favor and don't hide your magic." So everybody has their magic. And if there's anything that you can receive today from this podcast, is find your soul's purpose, find that which brings magic to your life, which is your magic, you know, and don't hide it, because the earth needs that more than ever.
You can do magic. You can have anything that you desire. That's it.
Thank you. Beautiful voice, right?
No.
We're going to get her to sing more. Thank you so much, and we love you.
Mwah. Love is infinite. Creativity is our muse. Yay! I'm still trying to get the backwards heart. Okay.